Views expressed in this podcast are for entertainment purposes only and do not reflect any affiliated organizations. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back with another great episode for you. The No Safe Words Podcast, episode 9. We got some fun topics. I'm excited. I enjoy having I look forward to this. We haven't had this in a couple weeks. Our schedules got the best of us over the last couple weeks, so sorry for everyone who has been missing out on some great content. Scotty, you were away for a little bit. How was your little getaway?
Yeah, just went to the beach for the week. Watched some movies, hung out with the kids. You know, it's pretty good.
Mo, how'd the move go?
It's not done yet. Still going.
No.
The aftermath, like cleaning up, unpack. So like we had to pack everything into these crates. The movers came and we had one whole week. So I guess technically 2 weeks, the week of the move and then one additional week. And then that following Friday, we had to have all of the crates unboxed, all of the C bins, the large like cardboard boxes that were like literally filled with servers and battery backups. All that had to be emptied out in time for them to pick it up on Friday. So like the last week was just going back and forth between the new office and the old office, picking up old equipment that didn't get picked up yet, getting like the security system out of there for the doors that we didn't need to replace. It was just like back and forth. This next week, I'm back to my normal schedule. At least that's my game plan. We'll see if that actually works or not, but it's done for now.
Yeah.
And I had a busy week. Lily came back from Florida visiting her mom, and then it's getting into club tryout seasons for volleyball. So Lily, she was gone for a couple weeks, so we had open gyms every single day. And then yesterday, we had a Friday and Saturday, we had plans for her to go try out in these gyms. And yesterday she tried out and made National Ones team. So
nice.
Congrats to her.
Nice.
She's really
That's
busted
awesome.
her butt. Ladies and gentlemen, there will be a GoFundMe added to this, trust me. Because this is probably going to cost me about 25 G's. So I'm going to have to sell feet pics, all sorts of things. We're going to make our way.
Feet finders.
Yeah. Catch me on Feet Finder. If you need me to step in a cake, anything you need me to do, whatever you need me to do.
Okay.
I want to see you eat with your feet.
I
Hold the
I
fort.
would love to say I'm
your
that
toes.
flexible, but yeah. If I even, I'll get.
We're taking
maybe
requests, ladies and gentlemen.
Get an A for effort. But yeah, so interesting times. It's gonna start dying down for a little bit, and then it'll pick back up for volleyball. But it's exciting to see all of the hard work that she put in, and her able to see some of the rewards from it so far. So it'll be good.
That's awesome.
It'll be fun to see.
Good stuff.
There's like 5 plane rides that we'll have to take this year. Yeah, it's Kentucky, Atlanta, Orlando, Texas, and somewhere else. So, yeah.
Kansas? You say Kansas?
Maybe Kansas.
Kansas.
Oh yeah, Kansas City, Missouri.
Kansas City. Yeah.
Yeah.
Triple Crown. But yeah, so I think a lot of us, or some of us, did some entertainment. Scotty, you have your own little review page. I must say little. It's actually picked up. It's looking good.
A little bit.
Looking good. So let's kick it off with some entertainment. I'm deeply upset. I'm gonna say that. Deeply upset.
Yeah, I heard.
Duster not getting renewed for season 2.
Unbelievable.
I'm a little upset with HBO because typically they do a better job on like advertising a show.
I felt like they didn't market the edit at all. I didn't even know it existed until you said something about it. I was like, what the hell? I'm watching baseball. I'm watching basketball. There's no freaking commercials. Nothing. What the hell?
Yeah. I have no idea. So
it's like they wanted to scuttle this.
Yeah, and at the end, of course, it's left with the cliffhanger. So like, it's like,
Oh, we're never gonna tell you.
cool, great. So,
Great.
that's where I am in regards to shows. I'm still watching Stick. I don't need to touch on that, but great recommendation by you.
Yeah.
I think it is an overall solid, like, there are lessons in every single episode that you can walk away with, and especially as a father to a teenager, sometimes me, you know, it's hard, right? Because my daughter looks like a grown woman. Like she looks so mature since like she was like a kid, right? Sometimes I forget the disconnect there where like she's a teenager, right? And some of this
She's going in a junior year, right?
yeah, she's going in her junior year.
Damn,
So she's
getting old, man.
bro, you're telling me like she took my car. Like
That's crazy.
yeah, I know. So, but what have you been watching? Anyone watching anything good?
Not any shows. I haven't seen any shows. But the new season of Foundation just came out. Have you guys seen Foundation?
No.
It's an Apple sci-fi. It follows this empire where like 3 emperors rule, but they're the same person. They're like clones.
Oh.
Yeah, they're clones.
That's trippy.
But one of them they call day, one of them they call night, and one of them they call morning or whatever. And the idea is that Day is the guy in charge, but he is brought up by Night because he's much older. Like that guy's much older, and like he's already been the day, and he's already been the morning. Or I forget what they call. I don't think they call it the morning, but I forget the name. I haven't watched the new season, so I'm like not in practice. But the young one is supposed to be like the guy who they bring up to run the empire. And they basically run almost the entire galaxy. So there's all this like, light at the speed of light travel, all this stuff. And like, there's like special beings that they created to like run the ships because they can handle the G-force of traveling at light speed. It's pretty crazy. I mean, if you're really into sci-fi drama, like if you liked, I'm going way back, Babylon 5, or what was that the more recent one, where it was like in the solar system. If you liked any of those, definitely a show to pick up. It's on its 3rd season now.
All right.
Okay.
On Apple.
I've been watching a little bit of Smoke.
Nice.
I'm on episode 3. Show's good.
Okay.
Well written. Characters are developing, so I enjoy it. So check it out. Scotty and I have a huge disagreement.
About
Superman?
Yeah.
Before you get into that, I'll just say I started watching Bad Thoughts by Tom Segura. It was a suggestion from Matt.
I heard
that show
it
is so
deep.
fucking trippy and just weird.
I meant dark, not deep.
Dark, deep. No, not dark. Not deep. Dark and just weird. Like
Dark is weird.
What's in this guy's brain?
Tom Segura?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he's
It
wild.
just-
He's a wild dude.
I only finished the first episode, but I'm gonna watch the second one. I recently finished Devil May Cry on Netflix. It's an animated series. It's pretty cool.
How was
it's like a anime. It was awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. There's gotta be another season.
I played a bunch of their games when I was younger.
Yeah. Does it follow the games, or is what? Did it just come out?
Well, it came out.
A while ago.
It's fairly new. It's fairly recent. The
Yeah.
TV series or the animated series on Netflix, I believe, is fairly recent.
I feel like it was like March or April or something, like a couple months ago.
Yeah, like this year.
Yeah. It's definitely this year.
I also watched something. I started watching an animated series on HBO that's trippy. It's about mushrooms. It's actually really, really good. And has ties to like Big Pharma. So it's fun.
Mm.
It's fun.
So it's conspiracy adjacent.
Sure. Yeah.
Conspiracy adjacent.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead with
So-
Superman now.
Yeah. On to Superman. I want to hear your hot take first.
I don't have a hot
Not a
take.
hot take. It's not hot.
I think I agree
Boring.
with the majority of people. I think that Superman, James Gunn is rebuilding the DC universe, and I seen.
Oh yeah, you could tell that from the movie.
Yeah, you can. And there was a lot of humor that didn't seem forced. It
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
remind me
Oh
of
yeah.
Deadpool at all.
So people are misunderstanding me with the Deadpool comment, right? So Deadpool came out and it was a hit, right? And then every other superhero movie that came out after Deadpool tried to follow this formula of inserting more and more and more and leaning into humor, right? And it's just overly pressing the humor button to try and get this like level of engagement, and it's not working. So it wasn't like, oh yeah, he's making fun of himself, the fourth wall, whatever, or like, you know, it's dark humor or anything like that. It was just leaning into the humor more so than they have in the past. Like you go back to Iron Man. I mean, yeah, there's a couple like one-liners and stuff like that, like
Some
which were
quips.
good. But I mean, Iron Man was a good movie. Iron Man was a good
So
movie.
was Superman.
They didn't need all the comedy for Iron Man. But now it's like, oh my god. I mean, like the dad jokes, like dad level humor jokes in that movie was just ridiculous. I was like, get me out of here. I really did just want to walk out, but I wanted to see, does this get better? And it does get better. It does get better. The final fight scene's great. You know, but it was just like Superman was on his back 50% of the movie, like, and
Tell us how you really feel.
here's the whole DC universe packed in one movie, and we're gonna call it Superman. I felt like it was a Justice League movie.
I mean, it's tying into that, sure, but it's still a Superman movie.
Bro, I think we saw Mr. Terrific maybe like 75% of the time that you saw Superman. Like their screen share was wild.
Okay, I can understand from the perspective of you're going to go see a Superman movie, you want Superman to be the main character, and you don't have a lot of Clark Kent scenes in it. I think
No, you have one, and then he's like completely out of character where he like blows up on Lois Lane.
I thought that was a great scene.
Okay.
I thought that was a great scene because it showed him being human.
Okay.
You don't think so?
I mean, I guess, but like, if you want to talk about connection to comic book, he was never like that in the comic books. He wasn't human in the comic books. He was always good all the time, nonstop.
Yeah, that is true.
I haven't read all of Superman because listen, I'm not gonna say I'm the biggest Superman fan, but when we look at something like this movie, when you're trying to rebuild a universe, and there was a narrative that they were pushing in the movie, right? And they were trying to make Superman more human than anything else.
Okay.
And part of that, right? It's like,
Well, they did that. No
yeah.
argument there.
And I thought that they did a good job on it. I think
Yeah.
that was the direction that they were trying to go. And people have a right not to like it. And I understand if they don't like it. But this was their way of taking a bold stance on what's happening in the world and trying to incorporate it into the art.
Well, so you think they were pushing the whole political button?
Oh, I mean, listen, the whole movie is around a political topic, and like that's very evident. Now,
Yeah, but do you think they did that on purpose, or do you think that was just like that kind of happened, or they were like, oh, let's lay out the outline, and then, oh wait, this actually has really good relatable things with regard to what's going on in the country?
everything coming out of Hollywood is tied to stuff in some way or another.
Oh, here's the conspiracy. Let's put the
It's
tinfoil
not
hats
though.
on.
Just look at
and
every.
who
I mean,
and who runs all of that? No. I'm
well,
just
there's
kidding.
always influences. Well, there's always influences. I mean, it's just you know.
I was
how it
talking about a
goes.
specific group.
Oh,
I
he
didn't say
knows.
anything about
Oh, he
I said
knows.
Hollywood.
He
Oh,
knows.
good. It's implied. It's implied. It's already.
He
known.
knows what we're talking about.
All right, so I think that was a bad move too, because they polarized half of the freaking country against it, and like I didn't dislike it because of the political move. Like,
I don't think,
like whatever.
Well,
You know what I mean?
hold
Like,
on. I don't think. Yes, I do agree that there's a political tie to this stance, right? But I don't think it's saying that immigrants are right or wrong, or Gaza and Jerusalem, Israel is a thing, because that's tied to it. I think the biggest takeaway from the movie is
human.
that everyone is human, and we should remember that when we're talking about other human beings. Whether or not we believe that somebody should be deported or should stay here, right? We have to understand that humans are humans. This ties back to the conversation that we had a while ago, right? And I don't want to go off on a tangent about it, but like where we were talking about if somebody's been here for 2 decades, should they just be deported? Well, like if they're 30 years old and they've been here for 20 years, here's home.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so we have to remember that, and we have to take things into consideration. Not everything is black and white. Not everything is cut and dry. And yes, did that person come here illegally? 100%. Should people have a way to access be an American citizen and getting here a legal way? 100%. But there's also caveats to said thing. Like, that person was here, that person's been here for 30 years. They came here when they were 5. Like, this is the only life they've known. So at the end of the day, we have to remember that human beings are human, and it's not like we're just throwing trash away, right? And I think that that's what this conversation is about. Now, everyone knows my stance based on they just watch a couple episodes on where I stand on immigration, right? Like, there is a way to get here illegally, and you should follow those steps.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I guess as it relates to Superman, my point is, I didn't care, right? In the movie, I didn't really think about that. Didn't really care about that. I didn't know it was political until I got on TikTok, and then people were like, all these like righties were like, yeah, good review. That movie sucked. It was way too, blah blah, pushing the immigrant issue. And I was like, who are these people? I don't want them to follow me. Like, what the hell's going on here? So, but, but I was like,
oh, so you want the?
Well, I don't want to have to pander to them. That's really what I don't want to have to do. Cause like, I don't really care when I'm looking at when I'm watching a movie, I'm looking for something entertaining. I'm looking for something that entertains me. Right. So like, hey, if I give a bad
zone out and not think about it, right? You just want to zone out and not think about it. You don't want to go too deep, Get too many thoughts
I'm gonna have to start going more deep if I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna make my analysis anyway.
But he ran out of pee-pee.
But like,
that move.
But like, I mean, I want an entertaining movie, and like this like whole political thing. Look, I don't think it was a good move. It wasn't a good move for DC Studios to take a stance on anything political. They're trying to.
That's how you ruin movies. That's how you ruin movies.
I mean, you ruin movies, but also like you're trying to reignite the DC universe, and the last thing you need to do is take 65 million people off the freaking table. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think they did that.
Maybe not 65.
And I don't think that. The question I have for you guys is:
you should see
are all comics? I think a lot of comic books have ties to what's happening in the world.
Sure, but the Superman comic started
Yeah, long ass time ago.
70
I mean,
years ago.
But 70 years ago, when
I mean,
it
I
was
guess there was
going on,
immigration issues
but-
70 years ago too. But,
Sure, but there were different things that they were discussing. Just like
I mean,
just
like Captain
art-
America,
art
right?
in-
Captain America came out in the Cold War kind of
yeah,
thing.
art
like-
in general like has ties all the time to what's happening in the world.
yeah, but I think I don't
isn't
know.
it
I
life
mean,
imitates art, or art imitates life. What is it? What is it?
what
I
was
think
that?
art imitates life.
Art imitates life.
Art imitates
I mean,
life.
it's so. Here's the thing, right? To both your points, at least my take on it. I didn't even watch the movie, but the way I'm seeing a lot of trends in movies is now, like, okay, sure, there's a storyline on a movie, and the storyline, like you were saying, everyone's human, but instead of pushing it in a way that's like that reiterates that point, it's being pushed in a way that ties to other current events or other, politically charged things. And that's what's happening with a lot of things. Like a lot of the movies just inserting XYZ type of person because it's the thing to do now, switching up character roles for characters that were maybe one ethnicity to another ethnicity just for the sake of doing it because that's the thing to do now, or inserting XYZ person who is of a specific orientation and then adding commentary or specific scenes about it for the sake of inclusion, like when it has no place in a movie. It's like adding things into the movie that, sure, you can have a point talking about we're all human, we need to treat everyone like humans, we need to like respect everyone and treat everyone the same, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're left, you're right, you're white, you're black, you're Spanish, you're immigrant, you're not an immigrant. We all just want to have the same things, right? You want to be loved, you want to have safety, you want to feel like you're a part of something, you want to, get respect. It's like basic human necessities. Like everybody is the same when you boil it down.
Right.
So there's a way to get that point across without having it be tied to like politics. And that's what I'm seeing. A lot of movies are now having it tied to like politics or social, what's the word?
Yeah, social issues.
Yeah, like trends
social
and issues.
conflicts. Yeah, I mean,
you know.
I think there's a way to do it. Like again, I didn't really see it in Superman, so like, whatever. If they were going for that, I think it was a bad move. But like, I didn't see it. Right? I didn't really connect it to the world.
What do you mean you didn't see it?
I didn't see it.
There
I
was
didn't see it.
what's that country that they were trying to evade? Like that's the whole Israel-Gaza situation.
Yeah, but
then
I mean, okay, sure. I mean, I saw that.
okay, then
But I didn't catch the whole like immigration issue into it.
the whole immigration issue is that Superman is an immigrant, and they were ready to cast him away.
Yeah,
He's an alien.
Right?
I get it now.
Is he an illegal alien, or just an alien?
I mean,
technically
absolutely,
speaking,
illegal alien.
absolutely. Like,
I mean, but he's one of them illegal aliens. He's like, no, you got to stay. Like, but
one of the
like,
good ones.
but like,
Gonna get slack for that.
in the movie, I didn't catch that portion. Yeah, I caught the whole Israel-Gaza connection, but like, I didn't go into Superman thinking, let me watch some political propaganda.
Well, I don't think most people go into a movie thinking that it's going to be political propaganda, but then when the movie's over, if the feeling is that they were pumping this down someone's throat, then that's the feeling that it gives. Now,
Yeah.
I too didn't necessarily want to take away the Israel-Gaza situation is obviously 100% evident in the movie, right? That's clear as day what they were trying to do there. The whole Superman is an immigrant thing, that to me was stretching a little much, but like I understood where people were trying to draw that line in comparison. I didn't think that those issues took the center stage and made this to be a movie about propaganda. And I enjoyed it. I understand the takeaways that one has from it, but I didn't like you. I didn't necessarily be like, oh, I was drowning in just politics. I didn't have that feeling.
No, I mean, I didn't have that feeling either.
The Superwoman.
Were you trying to say that I?
No, I didn't. I didn't think you were either.
I mean, like
you said you weren't, so I agreed with you on that.
Yeah. There was just too much, and like one last thing, I just wanted to say, like I felt like the Lex Superman rivalry was wasted on like this movie, adding all like I felt like there needed to be more, needed to be deeper. It was kind of like we want to introduce these characters, and then Lex and Superman's rivalry took a hit for that. So
You think
it's
they're
just
doing
so
too much too
epic. And I
soon?
thought that like some of the things that Lex did, I was like, that come on. Yeah, like the monkey bot scene was funny, right?
That was very
Have you
funny.
seen the memes for the monkey bots? All right,
That was hilarious.
It's
I'll
it's
look one
funny.
up.
It's funny. But like I'm like, yo, Lex Luthor is going to feed, house, and take care of all the sanitary conditions needed for all these dang monkeys? Hell no. He's gonna write a program to just like bot post things. Why would he do that? He's the smartest man in the universe, right? The smartest man in the universe hires monkeys, smart monkeys that can type and post things on social media. Really? Come on.
But they were in the other realm, so all their poop would just fall into the
I mean,
abyss.
maybe somebody has to keep track of them freaking things. Somebody has to house them things. He has to like feed them, right? Like there's a whole infrastructure that goes behind that where he could just
I mean, I think you're reading too much into
throw
it.
up some mainframes, and I don't think so. I mean, like, dude's the smartest man in the universe. Why do
And
you
got
have
some
monkey
monkeys
bots?
that were really smart.
This is wild.
Do you think they were doing too much too soon with like introducing all those people? Or, like,
Oh
introducing other people into
yeah.
it?
I mean, it wasn't a Superman movie. It was a Justice League movie, or Justice Gang, as they call themselves.
The
He
new
was like
Avengers.
their sidekick.
Huh?
It was the new Justice League.
Yeah.
No, yeah. There's gonna be a whole new Justice.
This is a whole new, there's
Yeah,
a whole
restart.
new, it's a whole new restart, which I'm not opposed to, and I do understand
I'm not opposed to it
what
either.
your takeaway is and why you feel the way you feel. I agree. I mean, like, Superman wasn't necessarily the main focal point star in the movie. It wasn't. Even the scene that I found hilarious was when him and Lois Lane were talking and like they were fighting that big eye in the background.
It was distracting.
Dude,
It was distracting from the whole
hilarious.
scene, though.
It was
That was
hilarious.
another like press on the comedy button where they're having like this serious, deep conversation, and then there's this fight going on in the background, and you're like, what am I supposed to pay attention to right now? I mean,
They're trying
yeah, the quick, one-liner was funny, but it was like,
What was
the hell am I doing
what was the
right
hashtag that he hated?
oh, I don't know.
Hashtag shit.
I don't know, shit, man.
No, I forget what it was, but it was pretty funny. Overall, I thought it was a good thing.
Mr. Terrific was great. Thunderbolts was better.
I also think that I don't think that be the case.
Thunderbolts was
Thunderbolts
definitely
was good.
Thunderbolts was definitely
Thunderbolts
better.
was not better than Superman.
Absolutely.
They introduced Supergirl.
Yep.
I'm
excited for that.
really
excited for that
excited for that because that's supposed to really be off of what's the Supergirl comic name? I'm drawing a blank.
Wonder Woman.
No, it's Supergirl.
It's a Supergirl
It's the main story that this Supergirl is going to be after, and it's supposed to be really, really good. It's supposed to show her struggles with alcoholism, and it's one of the best comics that I've ever seen.
Do they get drunk?
From a Supergirl, and I'm drawing a blank on the name. Do they get drunk? Yeah, they said on the red planet the metabolism doesn't do something on the red planet. So on the red planet, if she drinks, she doesn't feel it. I mean, she gets hammered.
She gets like really drunk.
Yeah.
One beer and she's like done.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So
Keep date.
That's like me.
Yeah, I remember when Scotty used to get drunk off half a 40.
I'll still get drunk off at half 40 right now.
Still
Dude.
reserve.
That's why I don't like drinking.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, listen, I really enjoyed Superman. I thought it was a really good movie. I thought the action scenes were really good. I thought the comedy wasn't over the top and wasn't forced. I felt like overall, where I can see Scotty's point of view, where it didn't feel like a Superman movie, I can see where you're coming from with that. So I can see where someone would be disappointed. But overall, I feel like they did a really good job, and I would give it a 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. Wow.
6.5.
4 out of 5 for me.
We're only a little bit off.
So that's 8 out of 10 then for
8 out of
for
10.
Tony.
What would you give Thunderbolts? 7.9.
7.5.
or 3.9 stars. Just slightly less than Superman.
No. I think
I like Thunderbolts. I thought Thunderbolts was great.
I think Thunderbolts was equally as good. If I'm gonna give the nod to a movie, I think I would give the nod to Superman. I think they did a really good job. The visuals were really well put together.
That's not saying much for Superman. I mean, this is the rebirth of the DC universe, and it was a little bit better than Thunderbolts. All right.
I give it 4.5 out of 5.
A little bit better.
Quick segue off of entertainment. So I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but you guys know what's happening with TikTok, right?
Yeah, they're getting rid of it, and they're
Wait, what?
They're making an American version or something.
It'll be unavailable from September forward, and then it'll come back as M, which is basically Meta. It's going to be the American version of TikTok.
So Meta's buying it?
Well, they already Meta, Oracle, and somebody else. There was some deal that was made that they're buying it out, and it's going to be rebranded as M. So TikTok is gone.
How are they?
They now control all of it. They're going to have TikTok. They're going to have Instagram. They're going to have Facebook.
That's not a monopoly.
No, not at all. You know why? Because Oracle and whoever else is involved. So that's the loophole.
Doesn't matter. I don't think. I understand that from that point perspective that those other companies are involved, but Meta shouldn't be allowed to do that because it's still. I don't know the rules, but it seems like that there should be something.
So what? I mean, is Meta going to get the algorithm? Or they're just going to use their own crappy one?
And what's going to happen with everything that's on TikTok now?
I believe, I don't know, like it's just not going to be. Give me 1 second. I didn't get like that deep into it. Just a quick. It was a quick hit.
They probably like. If I'm gonna guess,
Oracle would become minority investor in the cloud provider for the new U.S.-based entity, TikTok Global, while ByteDance reigns the majority ownership and control of the core algorithm.
Who maintains majority ownership?
It's saying this thing that I just pulled up is saying that ByteDance would still maintain the majority ownership, but I don't know how updated this is. If this is just
majority ownership,
yeah, this is like an old.
I wonder what that's going to do for all of, like once Meta gets their hands on the algorithm and like that kind of stuff, because like everybody's trying to reproduce the TikTok algorithm now. I wonder what that's going to do for their algorithm on their other platforms, if they even get an opportunity to do that.
So wait, the China-based company is selling it, or they're just selling the algorithm so that way, we can have access to our own version of TikTok.
We're gonna have to come back to this, I think.
Yeah, we're gonna have to just clear up what's actually going on, what's not. But it was just something that popped up, and I thought it was interesting because if that's the case, then you lose a lot of the visibility that TikTok provided without censorship of like what you could look up. Like that was a big issue that they have with it, is the fact that we can get real-time information from other countries on what's actually going on versus what the news is saying. That's why, for example, China doesn't allow certain things from outside of China because they want to control the narrative, whatever. North Korea does the same thing. Other countries, in Europe and Israel, they do similar things because the idea is if you can limit what people can get to, then you can control what they think based on what you show them.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about that, but if it's a true reset for everybody, there's going to be amazing opportunity to grow got on TikTok. Right.
Yeah, obviously, there's got to be a matter of figuring out what happened. The reason I brought it up was kind of to that angle. It's like you got to focus on some of the other platforms maybe, or see how you know, how that's going to affect. Also, like, how would that affect?
So wait, when's it going to be down? September 4th.
I'm not sure. I think it said September, but
we'll see.
I
That
still have to confirm
timeline's
if
going
this
to
is
change
actually like
anyway.
accurate.
All right. Well, this will probably be a topic that we use in episode 10, maybe episode 11, depending upon how much information we can gather to really do a deep dive. But we'll get more content out to you guys over the next couple weeks, because this is going to be huge. That TikTok platform is big in the United States. A lot of people have their livelihoods being run out of TikTok.
That's right.
Whether that's the marketplace or whether they're just content creators. And TikTok has really performed well from just being the ability to have a platform.
The go lives are
for
crazy.
people.
Man.
Yeah.
That whole new platform, that's going wild right now. Too.
Yeah. And they're trying to tap into the gamer space because
Twitch is
giving
going to be gone. Twitch is going to
Which one are you guys talking about?
TikTok. TikTok is
there was a different one. There was a different one that people were making like a killing in comparison to Twitch on.
Oh, Purple. Is it Purple?
No, it's
I think it's
not Kick. Oh, maybe it is Kick. I think maybe it's Kick.
But yeah, TikTok was trying to get into the gaming space. So this will be very interesting over the next couple weeks. And a story that's going to be unfolding, and people who are making their livelihoods on TikTok are going to have to be scrambling.
That's right. And they're going to have to make some tough choices, I bet. There's probably going to be cutoffs for, like, look, we'll migrate your stuff, but not everybody's. Because, I mean, imagine how much data that is. I wonder how much data it is, all the videos that are on TikTok. I would
assume whoever's buying it out, like, as mergers and acquisitions go, you would likely be buying out all of the, like, if you were to buy them out, you would be buying out all of that data. So
yeah, but what is the law requiring? And then, like, how does that transfer happen?
Probably just you take over their servers. I mean, you just migrate their servers. There's probably like for example, like, but that's what a lot of people were talking about. That weekend when it went down. I don't know if you guys remember that weekend it went down. It was like April or whatever, or March or whenever it went down. They're saying that's about the amount of time it would take to do a cutover to other servers. So like basically, if you have a data migration going, you take the servers down at a certain time, and then you run a sync to duplicate the data over to the other servers, and then you like obviously you can have it staged up to a certain point, older data that's not touched or hasn't been modified, and then you run a delta sync on it, and like you could do it in a weekend depending on how many servers and how much they have transferring it. So like they probably just transfer the data over to the American servers
in a weekend. Dang, dude, that connection better be freaking amazing. Holy crap.
Well, I mean, I think they have some crazy, like, super
the internet will not work well that weekend.
No, like China has some like crazy.
Oh, Japan just did it. Japan just came out with it, I thought.
Was it Japan? Okay.
Yeah. They can download everything in Netflix in like a second.
That's pretty crazy. But I would expect that TikTok has far more content than Netflix does.
I would assume so too. Yeah. But like, if you can download all of Netflix's library in a second.
Yeah, that's pretty fast. That's really, really fast.
Well, did you guys hear about the new standard that China is creating for USB-C cables? Or is it HDMI cables or USB-C cables? I think it may be HDMI cables. But it's basically one cable that you use that has data transfer over it, power, internet, and video.
Wow.
So you would use one specific cable. China's trying to do it to basically...
That'd be so nice.
That's what I'm saying, to universalize it. And the speed transport and data throughput is like incredibly fast compared to whatever we have now.
Yeah.
So like they're basically trying to reset the standard of what cabling is used.
I mean, I think the last time I worked on a network, we had like 30 gig per second on our servers, but which is really fast. I mean, I can only get 2 gig in my house, so but like that's just local area network connection, right? Like they have
Yeah.
far faster than that, especially
We had
like
40 gig
Verizon.
uplinks.
Yeah,
with the
it's
network
after
traffic.
terabyte. It was like something. I'm really mad that I
Anyway.
can't remember what this was that they came out with. It's not terabyte. It's I think it starts with an X, maybe.
What?
What'd you say, Mohammed?
I said what X? Some
Oh.
starts with an X.
What's bigger than a terabyte, Mohammed?
What's the
Petabyte.
biggest? No, what's the biggest? This is what Japan or China just came out with.
Petabyte.
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 That's 1,000 terabytes. Is a petabyte.
Did that just come out?
No, that's what
No,
they
no,
just
no,
did
no.
a speed. That's what they just did the speed of 1.2
I mean, these are just-
petabytes.
These aren't like branded things. This is just like what it's called when you have that many number of bits.
Like a
or
million, billion, trillion, quadrillion,
Yeah.
XYZ. A Google. A Google is a number with 100 zeros after it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Google Byte.
Great Google and Moogleys.
Google Byte.
Great googly moogly.
But what were we talking about before we went off on this? We were finishing up Superman. And
So-
then I was going to say, I wanted to just make this real quick point. I watched Eddington. And like you knew going into Eddington that was a political movie, right? So like if you don't want to see something political, you don't go to the movie, right? Like, but you know, Superman, whatever. I didn't catch it, so it's not a big deal. But like Eddington, I thought was pretty good.
You enjoyed it?
Yeah, I mean, I recommend you guys going to see it. It was kind of crazy. It was like the COVID times, right? When the George Floyd stuff. So there was like people protesting about George Floyd and all these mask mandates, and then there's just like 2 people fighting
Summer
out.
of Love?
What?
Was that the summer? Was that coined the Summer of Love? With all the protests and the...
It was 2020, April, May, that time frame. So I guess it was before summer.
What a time to be alive, you know?
But it was, yeah.
Oh, no, I just made that up.
It's
then.
pretty weird. Like at first it was really weird, and then it
You
gets
just made it up.
super weird.
Was it the Summer of Love?
Well,
yeah,
I thought I heard people
didn't know you were
people
talking
referring to that.
Was
as
it?
that.
Isn't the Summer of Love in the 60s?
It was 1967, apparently.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna pretend that I didn't say that.
Wasn't there like a Summer of Love concert, and maybe that's why they called it the Summer of Love?
Probably, but the cable,
festival.
Just to loop back, the cable that China created is called the GPMI, which is the General Purpose Media Interface Cable, which replaces HDMI, USB, USB-C, and Internet.
So no power.
Well,
Which is fine. I mean,
USB-C is power.
yeah, but you're not powering a TV with.
Yeah, it's designed to
USB-C.
replace HDMI, USB, and power cords with a
Oh,
single
wow.
unified interface,
Nice.
One cord to rule them all.
which is pretty crazy. Pretty
Yeah.
crazy.
Yep.
And we saw, I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
How
me
was
too.
that?
I thought,
I had to watch that in 2 parts.
apparently I'm not the only one that falls asleep during, like, important events. Okay?
Yeah. Hey,
but-
I didn't fall asleep. I just was like, I'm going to
Gotta
pass
go.
out in this theater, and I know these. The only other people that were in the theater were like freaking teenage girls, and I'm like, these teenage girls ain't gonna wake me up. They're probably gonna laugh at me, take a picture, and, and leave me sleeping there. So I was like, let me just get out of here. I can just pay 50 cents to see like the rest of it later. But yeah,
I thought it was a really fun movie. I mean, and it's a slasher, right? Like, so going into this movie, if you're expecting something deep, go home. Go watch Eddington. But it was fun. There was callbacks to the original. I Know What You Did Last Summer cast and or movies. I thought they did a really good job with just how the movie played out. Kill scenes were fun to watch. I enjoyed it. Listen, going into one of those movies, I know I'm gonna have fun and it's going to be a blast. Now, we went into a movie theater that was a lively theater. So, like, there was a part in the theater that, like, it got real quiet, and I did, like, a jump scare, like, ugh! And, like...
I thought they scared you.
No. I did that.
That was the playoff.
So I did two. I did one before, like, and it scared somebody, like, 3 rows behind us, which is funny.
This guy.
And then there were these two like teenagers that walked by me, and and like they sort of jumped, and it was kind of funny. And I just said they scared me. So
what? They scared me.
Yeah, they scared me. But overall, I had fun. Like there was a dude like every time an old cast member came up, like he did like almost a standing ovation. Like he was. I know what you did last summer's biggest fan.
Oh wow!
So
by himself,
which really says something about you as a person.
Well, I'm not gonna make fun of them because I think that person wasn't all there.
Well, come on, man.
Listen,
you can't set me up for that trap.
If you were in the theater with us, like
no, I didn't get there till halfway through.
Yeah,
so
and he was.
I didn't know it was like that one guy. Like
he was living his best life. All right.
Yeah, dude, unreal.
There was like cheering and stuff when like one of the dudes hit the killer and it was like everybody was like
it was a lively. I sort of like that kind of theater, like when it's like lively.
Yeah, I mean he's like that all the time.
What time during the day was this movie?
Oh, it was like 7, 8 o'clock.
8.
Okay, I was just wondering if maybe it was like a field trip or something. Like there's.
No. Yeah, we're gonna take a field trip to a rated R movie though.
Back to our regular scheduled programming. Well, next.
Oh my god!
It's a field
guy
trip.
Was like, dude, oh my god!
Right.
System of a Down.
Oh,
System of a Down.
Wow.
Great band. Great rock band.
Wrong with this guy.
Yeah, I don't know if I've watched anything else. I did see, however, you went over a list.
Yeah,
I do want
to.
I know we've been on entertainment for a little bit of time, but like that list was atrocious.
It was not good.
That like I personally think that the people who make lists purposely do bad jobs at lists.
Well, this list was specifically made by directors, filmmakers, and actors, and they were only these 500 were selected to make this list.
I don't care.
It was not good.
I want to live.
People were really upset that Interstellar wasn't on the top 10.
What? That's such a good movie.
It was nowhere near the top 10. But New York Times also came out with a top 100 by readers.
Okay.
And Interstellar was number 5.
That's like Rotten Tomatoes versus critics review.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that for homework, all three of us should sit down. It doesn't have to be together, separately, and look at the look at the list that he looked at, and then try to figure out our own lists, and we can share it. Because
I'm pretty sure that like I didn't see 5 of the top 10 movies.
That's the point.
Yeah,
I like movies, and I don't even know what we're talking about.
Mulholland Drive. Mulholland Drive actually stuck at second for the Reader's Choice too. But I've like never seen. I'd never even heard of that movie. I guess it's like a early 2000s movie. But
what's it about?
What's it about?
It looks like a chick flick. I don't know. I mean,
all right, well,
maybe that's why I haven't seen it.
We'll have to look at it. But the number one movie being Parasite. Come on, are we serious?
That's stuck at number 1 for Reader's Choice too.
No.
I didn't see it. I didn't.
I mean, I'll watch it again. But like, no.
Really?
I don't think I can have it.
Is it English dubbed?
I think so.
I can't remember.
Might be subtitles.
Ooh, subtitled.
I think I watched the subtitle.
It's the first international film that ever won Academy Award.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not saying that the movie was trash,
It
right?
won like 4
But-
others.
The number one movie, the number one.
Did Human Centipede make it on the list?
No.
That was a good movie.
Well,
Critically acclaimed,
Scientifically
you know?
accurate.
oh my god.
Critically
The first
acclaimed.
one was scientifically accurate. The
Yeah.
second one was not. The third one definitely was not.
There was a third?
I believe so, yeah.
I'm gonna have to watch that
I'm
one.
pretty sure I watched it, actually.
I don't think I can review that one. Might get banned.
No, you probably don't want to review that.
But all right, well, I think that would be good for us to
Make
touch
a
on
top.
it.
Wait, you want me to make my top 10?
Yeah.
That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. Interstellar,
It
number 1.
got a 2.7 out of 10
Who?
on IMDb.
Oh
Oh,
my
Human
God.
Centipede?
The third Human Centipede.
Oh.
It's called
Dude,
the final
movies do
sequence.
not do well on IMDb. Like Superman got a 7.7.
Well,
Oh.
Worse,
horror movies
worse
in
than
general.
Thunderbolts.
Horror movies in general don't do good.
Yeah.
Worse than Thunderbolts. This guy's on a Thunderbolt kick. Why aren't you wearing a Thunderbolt shirt?
I don't buy
You should
movie
be on
shirts.
the. You
I
should
really
be on
need
the
to.
Thunderbolt hand.
I need
There
to
should
start.
be a Thunderbolt disc plate.
I'm gonna have to get one.
Shout out to disc plates, by the way. We could be a
Yeah, they're
sponsor.
pretty awesome. I got a couple compliments on that. Someone said, "Yo, that guy's got some cool posters in the background."
Nice.
Well, it's also not posters, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm not
They're
sure.
metal posters. They're metal posters.
Are they?
You know what I mean?
They're called metal posters.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
You can get a frame for them, but I was like, why? They look great the way they are.
Yeah. So they come just in case anyone's interested with like a magnet, right?
Yep. Yeah. You just throw them on the wall, and then you can pull them off and put a new one on if you want, and then.
Yeah, he has some over there. We should. You
I was
should have
gonna-
had the Deadpool one here since
I
you're
was
on the whole Superman and Deadpool.
I was gonna
Deadpool
put
or
one
Superman.
more on his side and one more on my side, but because I have 3 more over there.
Okay.
But yeah, no. Good stuff. I think everyone's had a fun share this week.
Before we go, any
Someone
further-
has to do a little tinkle.
Yeah.
Bro, you were
Now we
given
can
that Gawk Gawk 3000. Is that why your neck hurts?
No, I don't know, dude. I tweaked it. My right shoulder's messed up
You
bad.
freaking old man.
Bro, yo.
Probably jiu-jitsu.
My
Golf.
shit was fucked up for 2 weeks, bro. 2 weeks.
Listen, when you do jujitsu, and you're grappling with people, sometimes you get a little bit of neck.
Oh, yeah, you have an
kinking,
excuse, he
tweaking,
doesn't.
and then I played golf on Friday, and I was like,
Ooh, how was that? Hey, when are we golfing?
I don't know. I'm bad. I shot a 123. No good. No
You
good.
just need more practice.
I'm going to be worse than you, so that's fine. I'll probably be like
153.
190.
Oh man, I was gonna give you
190.
more-
We'll
I was
be
gonna
the.
give you more credit than that.
I don't know what I'll be because all I'm going to do is pick up and drop anyway. Until I'm
Oh,
at
then
a
you
point,
got a good score.
until
you have a
I'm
great
at
score
a
then.
point where I'm going like
Playing in the shit builds character, bro.
for me the only way
Wait, this is good pod fucking shit. Are we back on?
yeah, we haven't stopped.
Yeah, I never stopped it. So you can pick it out however you wanna.
Yeah, no, like listen, like I know I'm not good at golf, but like my whole thing is I need to see if I am going to be interested in playing this. And if I'm going to be interested in, I have to give it a shot. And then hopefully one day when I have money, I can get some lessons to get me to a point where I can go out on a course and be with people and not have to worry about picking and dropping.
Just wait until next year. You can have my set. Most of it.
Well,
I'll probably buy a new iron set next year.
that's fine. I'll take your stuff. That's great.
You guys are
But-
the same size, close enough to height wise.
Yeah.
Well, they were actually made for my dad, so like that's even closer. He's
Oh,
6'1".
even better.
He's 6'1". You're 5'11".
No, you're 6 foot, right? Yo, I think he's 5'10" and a half.
He's like 5'11" and 3/4.
Guys, I'm a short king. I'm 5'6", bro.
You're not 5'6". But yeah,
and I'm
like
Santa
the club,
Claus.
so I play with my dad's. They're not long enough for me.
Okay.
Wow.
Like I need the 1-inch extension.
Jesus
I need the
Christ.
1-inch extension. On
How long have you been playing with your dads?
clubs? My whole life
Shaft.
of them.
How long have you played with your dad's shaft?
Yeah.
I have never bought my own set of clubs. That's the one thing I've always gotten from my dad.
I bought
Speaking
a
of
set
golf-
of pitching wedges, a wedge set from Costco. They're really good.
Really? Wedges, you don't have to go. I don't think you have to go crazy. Dude, my one friend got these wedges. Oh my god, dude. What a dummy. I told him he was a dummy too. He was like, "Look at these new wedges they came out with. They have copper heads." And I'm like, "Okay."
Why?
And I was like, "How much is that wedge?" He's like, $170. I'm like, $170, dude? What are you doing? My Clevelands are like $15. I was like, what are you, crazy? It's a wedge. You're going to beat the crap out of it. But they got copper heads, bro.
So, speaking of golf, has anyone seen the viral clip that just went live about the dude that was fighting on the golf course?
No.
Which one? There's always fights.
Please look up and share this video if you can.
We can't hear it.
That's fine. Please look up. Muhammad can hear it, and he's going to laugh about this. Please, just type in golf course fight where the guy says bang, and see if this comes up. And you have to share the screen so I can see if this is it or not.
The only problem with this guy golfing is that we don't get along on the golf course. So, like, we can't golf together. This guy was yelling at me. He was like, that was not 8 strokes. That was +1. That was +1.
Bro,
And then I had him do all the math. And he was like, nope, 8 strokes.
This math is very, very funny, bro.
He
His
did the math
is very,
twice.
very funny.
He did the
I
math
don't know about
twice.
that. I listen.
I'm sharing the
forward,
screen. Can you see it or no?
Oh,
I
man,
can't
have to
see.
Watch stream. Hold on.
He should what? Oh, yeah. This is it. Oh, yeah. This is going to be fun. So you can't hear this, Scott, but this guy's arguing with somebody, and I guess that guy right there is
Enough. You're not a tough guy. Hurry up. Hurry up. You're not that fucking tough.
The
That guy
one
looks
guy's
like he's
trying
ready
to
to throw down.
diffuse the situation, and the guy's just taking a long time. So
Looks wasted.
yeah, he's taking a long time. Wait, how long is it? Oh, how long is this clips?
You can't take as much time as you want. There's usually a rule that says 14 minutes of
So
time
he's-
for the hole.
Yeah.
Not at every course.
So that dude right there starts saying, cry about it. And the other dude that he's going to be approaching is
He's
going
gonna throw him in the lake.
he's
He said,
going
fuck you both.
he's going to sit there and basically try to diffuse the situation saying you don't want this, right? So
Cry about it. Fucking cry about it. Pussy. I guess it sounds like a Canadian accent.
yeah, just we don't need to you don't need to do the play-by-play because Scotty will see this eventually.
Dang, this
But,
is a long clip.
Oh yeah, it is a long clip. This is
Taking
the
the glove
longest
off.
version.
Where
you
did
can
you
fast
find
forward
this?
a little bit. Yeah, now he's
Just
on
play it
cry
in 2
about
times.
it.
Just play it in 2 times.
So, well, now that's the
Can't-
good part.
can't-
Now you don't want it to go 2 times. Now it's starting into.
Oh!
So this guy goes after this guy and throws him in the water. Wait, it gets better. That's not even it, right? And he's trying to defuse the situation. This dude over here doesn't get the lesson. He hits him and bang, bang. Every time he hits him, he's saying bang, bang. Every time. Without remorse. Bang.
He says
bang.
bang.
Oh, yeah, he's saying bang. Over and over again.
my God.
Now watch this part.
He's like,
he
enough.
straight yeets this dude. What are we doing? Straight tosses
The
this
thud,
dude.
the thud when he hit the ground.
What is that?
The dude should just stay away, right?
man.
Doesn't learn his lesson.
I'm not gonna
Like-
lie. This clip is reminding me of Superman.
You can pause it. It's over, pretty much over. But come to find out, that dude that is doing the punching and the bangs, first and foremost, imagine Imagine just getting mollywopped by a
Yo, he
dude.
goes back to golfing?
Bro, did he lose
Alright.
his shoes?
I guess.
He lost a lot that day.
He lost
His dignity?
That's for sure.
There was a lot lost that
And
day.
he's still talking crap. He's like,
Yeah.
you just got your ass beat.
So, apparently, the dude. Well, like first and foremost, imagine, like you going up against somebody who you think you can take, and then all of a sudden you're just getting straight mollywopped, and every time you're getting punched, the dude is giving you a play-by-play bang.
Bang!
That is crazy. But come to find out, the dude in the video that is doing this, you can stop sharing or you could go to share because we'll go right into the other video.
Okay.
Yeah, but imagine that, dude. Like
Bang.
bang! You got to see the video. I can't
Oh
wait for
my
you to see the
God,
video. It's
oh my
hilarious, hilarious. Which.
I can't like think of like I couldn't even
What was the other
remember to do
video
that. Bang, bang, bang.
Bro,
Like,
the
come
dude
on.
that's doing the bangs, it used to be a defensive player on a hockey team, and served a lot
You
of
did
penalty.
not wanna do that.
Served a lot of penalty minutes.
So that's why he was
for
grabbing it with the one hand.
100%. He knew.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's how you fight on the ice. You got to keep
What?
each other upright.
Never mind.
yeah. Here it goes. Here's the video of the hour.
All right.
First and foremost, all of you guys have seen this video, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
The guy's an idiot. He fumbled the bag. He dropped the ball. If he doesn't react this way, none of this happens.
Probably right.
None of it happens.
He doesn't go viral. That's right.
Well, he doesn't go viral 100% because he looks like he's supposed to be there. And even if like one person sends a video out, right? You can sort of combat that. You can say, "Hey, we were dancing, whatever. I know it doesn't look good, but whatever the case may be." But like, it is horrible. Then you get called out by I don't know who in Coldplay is like sitting there saying, "Hey, I don't know if these guys are super shy or if you guys are having an affair." So now the whole stadium knows something, right? And it
Yup.
only took the internet 5 seconds to
Yup.
find everyone's information.
Yup.
And this girl right here, I don't know if you guys know this, but that's the director of people. She's only had the job for about a week,
Yeah.
right? And that's her boss, the chief people officer, and that's the boss of the company, the CEO. And hey, ladies and gentlemen, Scotty, Muhammad, and I had this conversation when this first happened, and I just want to point out, I was right again. I was right. I was right again. Because I said,
I was
I
just
thought he was
watching
going to
the thread.
survive this. I thought he was going to survive this.
yeah.
I mean,
showed-
not his marriage, but his job at least.
Bro, his wife changed her name online in 5 seconds.
Wow.
Bro, it went from her full name to her maiden name immediately.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
Damn.
that
Bad
is
job. Bad job guy. I don't know his name. But
And that
bad
guy
job.
is like 6 change. He's laying on the floor right now. There's no seats there. He literally
I think he's bending over.
bending over. You would still see him.
I mean, I think he
he-
bent over and moved
Oh,
to
yeah.
the side.
Oh
Like,
well.
I don't think he's laying on the ground. I mean, come on.
He is.
He's just trying to hide
He's
his face.
laying prone, crawling through.
No, come on.
see the fear
I mean, yo,
in his-
but the crazy. This is so freaking dumb. Like, yo, how? What are you thinking? What are you thinking? Probably all these people know your wife, right? And now you're bringing out like coworkers with your girlfriend.
Well, your girlfriend is your coworker.
is your coworker.
I mean, and your coworker girlfriend. Like now, like all these people in your organization know that this is already happening. Like,
Well-
how dumb could this be?
Well,
How dumb could you be?
I
the fear
listen.
in his eyes.
Oh
The
my
fear in his
God, bro.
eyes when he locks
crazy.
eyes with the screen. He's like,
And
Immediately.
the internet wins over and over again. I don't know if anyone outside of Philadelphia, Muhammad, great impersonation. I love that. I don't know if anyone outside of Philadelphia saw, but the Philly Fanatic has
Oh, the
done their
fanatic
rendition of the Coldplay Kiss
and the
Cam.
female fanatic.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
bro. The internet never fails. It always wins 100%. The question is, do they keep their job?
No.
No, look, you're chief people person, and
You lost respect.
you
That's
are
it, you're
doing
done.
the unethical. Yeah, I'm not sure she gets another job.
She can't discipline people in HR about adultery or any of that stuff, any of the relationship.
Are
any
you
of
wait?
the-
Are you
No, I don't
supposed to?
Adultery is not
Not adultery, that was the wrong
against
phrase, not
company policy, but like
not the wrong
but like
phrase.
unethical behavior, right? Like
Yeah, fraternization, all that stuff, like
yeah.
improper relationships in the workplace.
Oh, yeah.
She can't discipline anybody at that at this
Oh, yeah.
point. And like her, I think there was some because after I went golfing, I stopped by my buddy's house and his mom was there, and then like two of her friends were there or whatever, and we all talked about it briefly, and they were just like, you know, they mentioned that she like posted, or she has a post on her page at the time and said like, you know, inspiring confidence in the team by being the person that can be trusted with whatever, and
with your husband.
all these great things, and then it's like at this point that's all out the window.
Yep.
Yeah.
They got to get rid of her.
She can secure all packages.
Have you guys heard the conspiracy theory behind this already?
No,
Oh, boy.
tell us.
This was all set up.
What?
And that girl,
I heard about
girl
that
that's
too.
on the side, like hiding her face, and she's smiling so big.
She
She's
called
part
it
of
in.
She was in on it. Oh yeah.
She
Wait a
called
minute,
it in. or
this
something.
was a
so
setup?
Chris Martin
This
is
was
the
this was
singer.
a setup. Yeah, this whole thing was a
Who
setup.
was
So-
setting who up?
And like so the idea right now is that his wife knew about the affair
Ah.
and like got in touch with a couple people and like paid the cameraman off because I guess Coldplay does this regularly, like a kiss cam on their shows.
Yep.
And she knew that they were going to go to a Coldplay concert and that she paid off the cameraman and she got Coldplay actually in on it, which is why he said they're either shy or having an affair.
They're either having an affair or really shy.
Yep.
Yeah.
No way.
And if you look at the video, the girl that's like with her face and she's like super red and smiling,
yeah.
she does like a hand gesture over to the cameraman to tell him now, show them now, to like set them all up. You haven't heard this?
No.
Oh, dude,
I
yeah.
briefly heard about it, but I can't see.
Crazy. It's crazy.
I didn't see anything with the hand signals though.
Yeah.
Well,
It had to
not
be-
in this video. There's a longer video.
So
okay.
I wonder, like, she could just claim the whole power dynamics.
That's what it is. She's taking over now. She fills the void. She takes over that role of chief people officer.
her?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, the chief people officer says,
Oh, power
I
dynamics.
was in this relationship
Yeah,
because
that
of power
really looks
dynamics.
like power dynamics. I don't
Oh,
know.
there are lots of situations that look like that. My CEO invited me out to Coldplay, and I have to go nut to butt.
Yeah, but the CEO can't unilaterally fire other chief executives, I don't think.
Yo, she was so fast
they're-
with covering her face.
Yeah. Yeah, she was. Chief anythings are, I believe, appointed by the board. Which
Yeah.
the CEO is generally the head of the board, but there's a lot of stuff that has to happen if you're gonna get rid of a chief anything. So I mean, yeah, there's
It
a
also
power
depends on
dynamic
the
there, but
organization.
I think there's still safety in a sense. I'm not sure she could play that card.
It depends. It depends on the organization too. For your point, like so, there's CEO or there's like a managing partner or whatever, and then the board or like the executive committee or the board or whatever, they all basically vote on it or decide, and then as a result of that, the CEO may be a member of the board or the
Bro,
committee or whatever.
she is
And-
so red. This chick, the director of people, is so red.
That's
like
it fuels the conspiracy, bro.
so
Because she knows she's in on it. She knows.
So that's
To-
crazy. So
play it
you're
cool, play
saying
it
that
cool.
the CPO and the CEO are now both gone, and now the director of people is gonna slide into the
she was only there for a week.
chief people officer,
Yeah, she was only there for a week.
and now she's gonna become
No,
chief
no, no.
people
I don't
officer?
know. I don't know that to be the case. I don't know that to be a part of the conspiracy theory. The conspiracy theory part was that his wife knew about the affair and set this whole thing up to catch him.
Yeah, but you said that
'Cause she
the
didn't wanna
chief
just-
people officer was like, I mean, the director of people was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
now. So
Yeah,
how
yeah,
is
yeah.
she in on it?
Well, just because she felt bad that these people are cheating on his wife.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I mean, if she started like a week ago, imagine how weird that is. Well, my boss invited me to a Coldplay concert. I love Coldplay, so I'm going to go see. and then they're like all hugging up on each other. I don't know, but I mean, she must have noticed something. Also.
Yeah, but if I'm not mistaken, if my memory serves me correctly, Muhammad, can you do a quick LinkedIn search? Do you know these people's names?
No.
I think that they all worked together at other companies.
Oh, maybe.
So if that may put it, and we don't have to look it up. It doesn't matter either way. I'm wrong a lot. So internet, fact check me. I think they've all worked together other locations.
I mean, it makes sense. A lot of executives bring over their team. You know,
right.
The ones that they've built elsewhere, where
they relationships with.
You know, yeah, I'm sleeping with her, and you know, I might as well bring her over here.
Yep, and come see Coldplay and check out this.
Crazy.
Stiffy.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But
yes, they had indeed been working together at Astronomer. Wait, no.
We can look this up.
No.
That's fine.
Yeah. That's fine.
This leads into, and listen, I feel bad. Let's just say this conspiracy theory isn't correct. Imagine finding out about your significant other's affair like this.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's why.
I mean, who do you so you
Chris
feel
Martin,
bad for
the wife,
the injured? Yeah.
Yeah, I
so
mean,
Chris Martin, he issued a warning to concert goers to not, don't go to a concert if you're gonna be cheating because you end up on a kiss cam and then you're gonna get caught.
After this happened.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was one of my first thoughts was like, dang, bro, is this dude gonna like sue Coldplay?
Good luck.
I don't know. I mean, like, yo, I lost my job because of your stupid kiss cam. Like,
no, you lost your job because you were having an affair with the CPO.
Yeah, but I mean, I can see how he can play it off. Like, not play it off.
Listen, if any judge awards that, we're in a bad state of affairs.
We're cooked.
We're the legal.
Yeah. No, we're in a bad state of affairs. If
we're in a bad state of affairs as it is. I mean, have you seen the Massachusetts State Police? This did happen in Massachusetts. I'm just saying. This is at Foxborough Stadium.
Good segue.
Call Michael Proctor.
Yo, good segue.
Full circle.
Speaking about
Call Michael Proctor, bro.
Speaking of Massachusetts State Police and Mr. Proctor, that leads us into Brian Walshe. Not sure if any of you guys have had a chance to see this case, understand this case, but most likely this guy unalived his wife. Most likely. I'm not going to sit there and say he did
allegedly.
Allegedly. Based on what I've seen and what I've understood, anything's possible, but he doesn't look fairly innocent. He looks pretty guilty. But the way said evidence has been collected doesn't look like it's done the right way. And lead investigator
Michael Proctor.
I don't know what to say anymore than we just saw what happened to Karen Reed.
We want a clean case on this guy, right? We're going to see that text message.
Oh, yeah. Dude,
his wife was hot.
Michael Proctor, the state police detective who played lead investigator role in Walshe case, was implicated in a major controversy. Proctor had already been criticized for misconduct in a highly publicized Karen Reed case, using vulgar and inappropriate messages about the suspect while leading that separate investigation. This misconduct has led to widespread questioning of his credibility and integrity. Legal experts and former law enforcement officials Any evidence handled and signed off by Trooper Proctor in the Walshe investigation may be subject to additional scrutiny in the courtroom, potentially undermining prosecution efforts. So apparently they went like they had access to his phones and computer or something like that, but only access to a certain point, and they went too far. So a lot of the information that they obtained it illegally. So that's probably going to be thrown out in court. They also were caught changing dates on when information was found and how it was found. So all of that information is going to be tossed and not be able to use in
I don't think it's going to get
Part
tossed.
part
I don't
part
think it's
of
going to
the-
get tossed because, I mean, well, first of all, this is Massachusetts. Probably-
However,
I mean, probably
the
just based
judge
on,
that's been assigned to this apparently is a no bullshit judge and is not very happy with Mr. Proctor and said state police.
maybe. But remember that thing that happened in 2012 where they found like the drug, the substance tester was on substances. She was using all of them. She was using all of them.
All of them.
There were like 3,000 cases, and there were like half of them were active,
And
and
she
they
was
kept
just
all of the evidence.
she was just out here just
They
shooting
kept
up,
all
bro.
of the evidence, all of it.
Not Epstein, that's next.
But like
segues
yeah,
are bad. Segues all over the place.
it's wild. It's wild.
Some people say
know.
they should hang it up, but
We're gonna look into this Brian Walshe case. We're gonna find out some more.
yeah, this is just starting. The trial's about to go. I believe that they're gonna find a lot of things to be inadmissible in court.
The argument there. Sorry to cut you off. The argument there is that it's saying like either the dispute it centers on whether the evidence could have been inevitably discovered or was in plain sight for some of the additional stuff that was taken or that was that passes the Fourth Amendment violation.
I don't trust
So-
anything that dude says, Michael Proctor.
yeah.
Anything he gathered, anything he said, nothing. Nothing.
You're still sharing your screen, by the way.
Yep.
I didn't know if you knew that.
No, we can't read that. It's too small.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
no way we could read this.
But
But from what I believe, there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to be inadmissible. So we'll see. They've also sent a motion to have this whole case dismissed. I don't believe that's going to happen. I believe they're going to have to prove a lot more than what's already taken place. But we'll see this one live and in color. Should be an interesting couple weeks in Massachusetts. Which leads us to another interesting case, that there is a list, but there isn't a list. Maybe there's a list.
the Epstein
Maybe there's
list.
not a list. Who knows? Who knows if there's a list or not?
People are so fixated on this Epstein thing. I actually find it just ridiculous that like people are like, oh yeah, Trump only ordered whatever bloody blah, but like the grand jury stuff, he said he was going to release everything. Now we all hate Trump and like whatever, dude. Whatever.
I mean,
man. Whatever.
If people went along with voting for him for that being part of the whole thing. So here's the reason why people are so bothered by it, right? If or at least we could say like, okay, if we look at the left versus right, Republican versus Democrat, however you want to look at that, there's a big push of saying it's like, oh, he's crooked, he's probably on the list, blah 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 blah. If that was the case, then the last administration would have released something. So like, since the last administration didn't release anything or didn't bring anything to light, how could that be the case that they can turn around and say that like, oh, he's not releasing it because he's on it when they had the opportunity to release it? The bigger problem is, or the bigger issue, I think it's got something to do with the fact that this list probably contains, like I said earlier, a lot of people on it that you can't get out because
Both
it
sides.
can lead to like worldwide instability and a lot of other shit happen. Bad things happen.
Probably.
Well,
it's probably better we don't know.
the other thought process is that there is an active investigation to a lot of these individuals, and they don't want to disrupt said investigation. So if they release the Epstein list, then all of these people are going to get scrutinized, or they're going to sit there and not do what they normally do. I'm not saying that to be the case or not, but the way that this has been handled, it's like, first and foremost, I don't think that there's anyone. I shouldn't say anyone. I would believe that there's more than 75% of the world population, or that has followed this at all, that believes Epstein unalived himself.
They do believe that?
No, they don't believe. They don't believe that he unalived himself.
A lot of people don't. Yeah, a lot of people don't.
So the way they handled this situation, and then this missing, I don't know if you guys saw this missing minute that
Missing
they tried
minute
to,
of footage, yeah.
but it was more than a minute, and they can't account for that.
Explain it.
And on top of that, I don't know if anyone remembers, but back when this originally happened, they had no tape. They said that whatchamacallit prison was so understaffed and underfunded that there was no tape of this. Now all of a sudden there's a tape, and now all of a sudden the tape that they have has a missing minute.
Yeah.
All of this sounds funny. It doesn't sound like, nothing sounds correct about this.
Yeah.
Like, and if there is an active investigation, unfortunately, like, whoever's on the list, if they're just out here still just going ham on little kids,
Listen, man. The crazy thing is, people think that Trump is like protecting himself, but like, if Biden had information and Biden's FBI had information that Trump was on this list, it would have gotten out.
Agreed.
They tried so many, it would have gotten out. Kash Patel went on Joe Rogan and said, there is no list. He says, I have looked through the entire closet of all of the things about Epstein. There's no list, right?
But
so
they
like,
did have a list.
but like,
Shit.
no, but they don't have a list. They don't have a list.
It's
Now
bull.
they don't, but they did.
They did? Well, where'd it go?
Well, there wasn't a list at one
Oh,
point.
I guess Comey took it.
Eta numero din pizdiet.
And then we're gonna take another picture of another code or something on the beach.
So if that's,
This is wild. This
if
is
that's-
wild. But I'm gonna give a very unpopular opinion right now.
Let's hear it.
What did you expect from Trump? He has done two good things from this presidency. Just two. You can count them on two fingers. Two good things. The I'm debating on whether this is better or not. The number two good thing that he did for this country was he protected us from 4 years of Kamala Harris. That's not the unpopular opinion part. The second good thing that he did was rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. That is the number one thing that this president has done in his presidency.
How does
Gulf
that
of
benefit
America,
any of us?
only done two good things. Gulf of America and save us from Kamala. And that's all I wanted from him. That's all I expected.
You set
Look
the
at
bar
this
real
guy's
low.
face. He's just
Set the
staring
bar
at me.
real low.
He's staring at me.
I don't even know what to say here. I don't
That's
even.
it.
I like. I'm lost. First and foremost, like,
I feel like I'm more center than both of y'all.
yeah, I don't think that to be the case.
No?
No, I don't
No.
think. I don't think you're more center than.
I think he meant centrist.
Yeah, more centrist, more center on the political spectrum.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh, okay.
You
Yeah.
think you're more center than I? You're wild. I don't know what political spectrum you have. What scale you have.
I've heard your stances on things.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but I'm a flip-flopper. I don't know. You don't know. I'm a
Oh,
flip-flopper.
okay. So one day you like vagina, the other day you like dick.
Oh my lord.
I don't flip-flop on that. I mean,
I don't know what
Where's
you're
the
talking
line?
about here.
Where's the
Like, he
flip-flopping
did two
end?
things. He renamed Gulf of America, and he stopped us from having Kamala Harris.
Kalamata olives.
Yeah.
Kamala.
Listen.
Kamala.
Kamala.
No, it's Kamala.
Is it? No, it's Kamala Harris.
That's the racist way of saying it.
Is it?
I don't know which one's right or which one's wrong. I don't really care.
thought it
I
was
remember
Kamala's
Trump
the
being
right
like
way.
very specific. Kamala.
Yeah.
Kamala.
Kamate.
Cálmate, mijo.
Back to the Epstein list.
Yo, there's so many conspiracy theories on that.
Well, yeah, because like
Yeah, it's too deep.
He's
that's
still
what
alive.
she said. I didn't hear that conspiracy theory.
He's still alive, but he's over in the place we don't talk about.
What is he with Tupac?
No,
Guantanamo Bay.
no. The place that
Havana?
attacked Iran.
The place that attacked Iran. He's in Israel. Oh, we gave him.
That's
back
one
to
of the.
his-
That's
is
one
he
of the.
Israeli.
Well, the thought
In your
process.
circles, Mom.
No, well,
No, not
this
in my
has
circles.
the
That's where your conspiracy circles.
the
are.
theory. There was two theories. One theory was that he was an FBI mole, and he was doing all of these things and getting information for the FBI. The other theory was that Israel planted him here to have all of these high figures and be able to then blackmail said high figures. So that way, the hand, as people have called it,
That's a good way to.
are able to continue to rule with the iron fist.
the hand. It's like the foot soldiers in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Well, I mean, like,
the hand.
Yeah, there's a lot. I
Or
mean,
Game of Thrones.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's also a lot of takes. It's like Tony was saying, FBI, or they're saying CIA. I mean, the fact that they said they found multiple passports, like they found that he had multiple passports to be able to travel, even though he was like he was. When it all happened, when he got arrested and everything, he did. It wasn't like so apparently there's a story. There's a story that he had the opportunity for a plea deal years beforehand, about testifying on the case and do all that stuff and providing the information he had and giving it up, and it was like something crazy. He would have had it was like 6 days in jail, but he would have had 8 to 12 hours of like time outside, and then he would just be there like the time outside of that. I mean, I got to get the specifics on it, but there's some. After we start talking about this stuff, it just starts popping up in all these different videos and all these different things. Who knows what's real? Who knows what's not? It's entertaining to look into, but basically saying that he didn't go for that deal, but there's obviously government ties somewhere, because to have that level of identification that's actually usable, you can't just like make up a fake passport. Like you have to have a high enough like connection to be able to get one that actually works.
Fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that this is going to be ongoing. I think this is.
We're never gonna know.
Trump led with this campaign of transparency, and how for 4 years under Biden, and even before that, the media has been weaponized, and that information hasn't been given out, and that there hasn't been transparency that was given. And he promised certain levels. Now, to his demise, this is looking at this way. Whether or not this is true or untrue, there were so many people that were on the airplane. There were so many people that were on the island. And granted, we had this conversation with the whole Diddy situation, where there was the party and then there was the after party, right? And just because you were somewhere doesn't mean you were part of something.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
And
a lot of people attended Diddy's parties.
right. So not everyone's a criminal in these situations, and people, if you release all of the names of said things, which I think the passenger list has already been released, so everyone that's been on his plane has been released. So you can't look at everyone and say everyone on this list is a pedophile.
It's culpable.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't say that.
So I think this is going to play out over
Yeah.
the next couple of years. It's
We'll
not
keep
going to go
following
away.
it. We'll
It's not
keep
going to go away.
following
This is because maybe he did hang himself. Maybe.
Could've-
Do I believe that? No. I believe that there was information that a certain group of people did not want to get out, and they didn't want him to be able to get it out. But then the same conversation is, why is Ghislaine still alive? And if there was no list, why is Ghislaine in jail? So this is where my confusion lies, and these are why I have to look into it more, but I have a feeling over the next couple of years we'll find out more anyway.
Yeah, we'll keep following it. Speaking of conspiracy theories,
Bum 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 bum.
Dun, dun, dun.
pull up
Simulation. Simulation theory. I don't know. Yeah, we'll find it.
Simulation theory's been going around a lot more lately, and we're getting really close to being able to give a world where people are actually can actually live in a cyber world. But go ahead, you've got some stuff to talk about, Ray Muhammad.
Yeah, there's a lot to dive into on it, right? So like, we'll start off with Elon Musk basically saying that it's more probable that we're living in a simulation than it is that we're not, given the fact that civilization has been around for 13.8 billion years, and well, the world has the Earth or the universe has been around for 13.8 billion years, right? That was what he said, and then we'll say civilization has been around for 8,000 years, roughly. Say if you go by like the first signs of writing on stuff. So we'll say in those 8,000 years, you figure if there's a 1% or a 0.1% increase in technology year over year, or however it goes, right? That would mean that like there would have been a astronomical, insane, crazy amount of increases in technology to be able to get to a point where a simulation wouldn't be distinguishable from reality.
Right.
And like as a follow-up to that point, there are a couple, scientific experiments that basically, essentially prove the idea that it's a matter of what is observed or how it's observed determining what the outcome is.
Right.
For example, specifically, there's something called the double slit experiment. And it has to do with particles, subatomic particles, like photons and whatnot. And there's they're believed to work in a wave pattern where if you had two slits, and you shine the laser beam through it, the pattern, the particles move in different ways. And when you look on the other end at wherever they hit, it would be a scattered, array of the particles the way they hit the other end. But once you have it observed, if there's something either, someone watching it, or if there's a camera or a measurement instrument associated with it, instead of the beams going through, instead of it going through the two holes when it's spread, they only go through the one. If it's not being observed, then it goes in like at random. And that leads to the point of, it's like, well, if that's the case, are we living in a simulation where, when you play video games, the levels don't load until you go into, for example,
right.
that was a big thing, like Tomb Raider, and I had a buddy that worked on game development, level design, and a lot of the times this stuff is done when you say you have a floor or a level that's designed in a video game. There may be rooms, or there may be examples of rooms that are created however they're created, and then when you walk through the door, it generates what that room is going to look like when you go into it, because it pulls from a library of 25 different things, or there's different artifacts or sprites and assets in the level that would be placed however they're placed, either randomly or just based on the level design. But it doesn't actually render it until you open the door and go into that room, and at that point you see what's there, right? For one, processing power. Yep. And imagine it would take a crazy amount of energy to have everything already pre-processed. So the idea is that it's a matter of the information being input to determine what's actually happening and what we're seeing. So we only experience the things that we experience because it's part of the simulation, which is crazy, because that would mean that obviously none of the computers that we have can run it. So that brings back to the Elon Musk idea of, if civilization has been around for, let's say, 8,000 years and technology has advanced at whatever point, this ties into like the pyramids that are found. This ties into like civilizations that are like lost civilizations. And then like what you were saying,
the Amazon rainforest.
So like all these different things.
Lost ancient civilizations.
I mean, it leads into like, if that's the case, then my concern, or what popped into my head when I was digging into all this, is if we're at this point where we're getting close to the ability, like they figure with like AGI and quantum computing and all that stuff, there's a chance that we're pretty close to being able to create a simulation, like a simulation that we won't be able to tell the difference between it being virtual reality and actual reality, or base reality as they call it. And if we get to that point, I think that's the tipping point for collapse of society, and that's what leads to the repeating of the cycle to get back to where we're at.
Is it though?
Think about it though. Think about it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like if you enslave people into this program, yeah, okay, I can see that. But like, I don't know. Well, I was having a conversation. This was like totally. I wasn't even expecting to have this conversation. But I was at the beach, right? And I was talking to my father-in-law, and I was like, "Hey, what do you think is going to happen at the beach when we can just make a room where you feel like you're at the beach? Like there's just a room in your house, like on Star Trek, they have like that like simulation room, right? Like simulation stop. They're like fighting aliens or whatever, right? On like some alien planet. They're like simulation stop, right? And they like pause everything, right? Like what's going to happen to the beach when you have a room in your house where you can just like go to and like experience the beach? Like, yep, I took a day off. I went to the beach. It's at my house. Yeah. Like nobody's going to go to the beach anymore. I mean, I think after a couple generations, kids are going to be like, the beach? You mean like that room in my house? Like they're not even going to know what the beach is unless you have like a nostalgic parents or whatever, or whatever it is, right? Oh, you want to go see the pyramids? Well, we don't have to travel there. We can just experience it in our house, right? I mean, I think there are general benefits to. I mean, obviously you can simulate all sorts of things in these kind of simulations, but why do you think it'll be the end of our civilization and a required restart?
Not a required restart, but just everything at that point breaks down and then it just resets.
You mean like the simulation breaks down?
Well,
not like the world breaks down.
Like society, like what I'm thinking is go ahead. What are you going to say, Tony?
No, people have already been living lives that aren't their lives for decades now.
What?
Like people have.
You mean like enslaved people?
No, people have created online personas of themselves to get away from who they are. So if they're able to then hook in, like these people exist today in this world.
Yeah.
We'll call them NPCs, right? These people, right?
Yeah, but they are PCs. They're player characters.
I know that they're player characters, but they prefer not to be. They want to.
Yeah, they don't want to be.
They want to be somebody else, and I would be willing to bet that the people that are finding these different personas and different beings and not being who they want to be and creating these online people who they aren't will more than happy plug into a machine and live a life that's not them.
Yeah.
Because that's easier than just living life.
Yeah.
And then when that happens, everything goes bye-bye.
Because we've already acknowledged that, like,
talking about like Ready Player One now.
Population's on a decline, right? Like, where, like...
Oh, yeah.
People aren't having enough babies to sustain civilization, right?
In certain countries, yeah.
When that happens...
And certain demographics.
And certain demographics. So, when you have this mixed with people who would rather just be online and not be present in society, you're going, like, the numbers trending in a certain direction.
Right.
What I found interesting is, I know, Scotty, you've dabbled in No Man's Sky.
Yeah, a little bit.
And Muhammad, I don't think you have, but
I think I got like 70 hours on it. There's nothing. That's like scratching the surface.
Yeah. On an initial disc, right? Forget the downloaded copy. If you took the initial disc and you put it in, essentially you are a astronaut going out and searching all these individual galaxies and planets, right? And
they're all procedurally generated.
Correct. So they've run this, and there's I don't know how many.
All the creatures are procedurally generated. All the fauna is procedurally generated.
Yeah,
the whole planet is generated. So it's not like you're skipping through. Like if you played the newer space game by the same guys who did Fallout. What was that called? That is not that like you just drop down and you're like in a little sector. But this is like the whole planet is generated.
Can you do me a favor, Mohammed, and see how many planets and galaxies or whatever is in
like,
No Man's Sky?
There's like 4 trillion or something.
Yeah, something crazy.
Some stupid.
So your job is to go investigate all of these planets, and it's an endless game. There's no chance that anyone was ever going to beat this game, right?
Well, it's not a game to beat.
Right. It's just a game.
There's a storyline that you can finish, but like you can't beat the game.
Right. So they were looking at it, and someone was talking about this game in general.
Holy.
How many?
Sorry, I just saw something. It basically said that rough community estimates suggest current vanilla universe has about 2 quadrillion accessible planets, with an additional 7 to 8 times more available in phantom star systems.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Endless, right?
So you're never going to beat the game, in other words.
Correct.
You're never going to quantum computer.
You can't get to every planet.
You'll never see
Absolutely
everything,
not.
right? So someone was talking about this game, and because what did you say that these creatures and things are?
Fauna.
No. Like how they're created.
Oh, procedurally generated.
Procedural generated. They said that there is no AI in this game.
Yep.
But if they infuse this game with AI, all of a sudden, you're going to have all of these different beings believing that they are real and that they're going to take on lives and they're going to do things over the course of time. And that's going to repeat itself, and then all of that's going to repeat itself, and
so maybe, but back to kind of Muhammad's point of simulation theory, though, like those planets aren't rendered unless somebody is there,
right,
to save the computing space. So although like it may have lives, like those lives will start and end when a player gets there. And then may restart whenever somebody else shows up.
Maybe that's birth in general.
I mean, I guess it's true.
Maybe you're plugging into the system at that point, and your life is being created as a child, and you're going through.
You just get unplugged.
The
player's gone. Unplugged.
They go through this whole stage of like trying to. Yeah. Wipe your memory from the past life as a child so that way your new life takes on.
Yeah, I mean, there are certain planets like they send you to like for missions and stuff like that where like generally you can find people like on these like starter planets because like those are like where all the players are playing. And I could see how those creatures could end up like that, but not like on the 4 quadrillion,
Yeah, but look at our solar system
planets. Now. I know.
Look at
also if they infuse AI and then they make it that big and that many people log in, I can really see how we can get into the situation where we are now, where it's like they're asking the question like, if the universe has been around this long, where is everybody? It's so freaking big that nobody can find anybody. You're not gonna be able to play with anybody.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, if our solar system and galaxies and all of those things, we're seeing if there's life and there's no signs of life, it's the same thing as No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
Okay. I see where you're going with this. It's possible because obviously I don't know if you guys are on the same page, but I can almost say with 100% certainty that I believe there are like aliens exist, otherworldly things exist, that we're not the only living like conscious creations on the planet, like in the world, in the universe. Like there's
In the universe.
no chance that we're the only ones. Like there's no chance.
Yeah.
I saw something that was, Scotty shared with us, Muhammad, that like Andromeda paradox kind of thing, where they were talking about the CERN and
dude, don't even get me started on CERN,
bro, and how it's going 99.99% the speed of light.
Large Hadron Collider,
4 seconds or something.
Yeah. And how
to go like 27 kilometers.
If we go 2.5 light years away, you'll get there in an hour. But you can't go there and back to tell the story, because by the time you get back, everyone's gone.
It's like 2.7 million years would have passed or something.
Yeah, something crazy. Someone said, what if those unidentified flying objects that we're seeing that no one can basically say anything of is someone that figured out how to travel the speed of light, coming back to tell everyone what they saw.
And everything has changed so much that
they don't even know what to say or do.
Wow.
Bro, space and travel, it's
hurts my head.
It literally, it's amazing, right? At the same time, it's like mind-boggling, and it's just interesting that decades or centuries ago, scientists were able to put these theories in without the level of technology that we have today.
Oh yeah, I mean,
which is wild.
Yeah. Talk about like Einstein's special relativity and stuff like that. Like, I mean, he talked about having like this kind of like mind palace where like he would go to like think up these ideas and stuff. It's pretty wild. But also there's hints at him maybe using substances to assist in his thinking.
Huh.
Yeah, I all of these things, man. Like it's very just fascinating that we're here today, but they could be NPCs.
NPCs.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know.
Some people just are NPCs.
Yeah, I 100% agree. We're winding down the episode here. I do want to. Everyone knows who Shaq is, and I'm assuming everyone knows who RG3 is. There's been this big controversy over Angel Reese. I really don't know what was said from an RG3 perspective, but got Shaq very, 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 very angry, and pretty much said, if you want to say anything else about Angel Reese, I'll punch you in the MFing face.
I mean, that's his girl. Angel Reese is his girl.
What does that mean?
He mentored her all the way through college and through her professional career. Like, that's his girl. Like he knows her. He talks to her on a frequent basis. He helped her out when she was up and coming in college. Like, I mean, that's why he went off, because that's his girl.
Like, it's personal for him.
Yeah.
So is this what he put out there?
This is what that's what RG3 put out. 2K26 monkey.
It's the cover with obviously it's a AI generated image of a ape in place of Angel Reese.
I mean, this is just totally unacceptable. It's totally unacceptable. I don't care what. Like, I don't even know, what is RG3. Is he black?
Yeah.
I mean, because I didn't know. But I mean, like, bro, way to like not do good for your own race. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, Did he put out an apology? What is this?
I don't think so. I think one of his friends even doubled down.
No. So here's the issue, right? He posted it, but he reposted it with the whole explanation saying like this has got to stop. There's no place for racism in this world. Whether you like a player or not, Angel Reese should never be called or depicted as a monkey. So like he reposted the video and then he sent the message. That was his message in the repost. But apparently, just the fact that he reposted it was enough that Shaq was like, yo, why did you do that? Why are you like stay in your lane? Like you don't know anything about this. Your knowledge doesn't transfer over. But apparently because he mentioned something about Caitlin Clark, right? Like saying that that Angel Reese has grown to hate Caitlin Clark because the media always asking about Caitlin and being constantly compared to her. So like I think the fact that like Shaq was not, it's more involved, or it's deeper than just the reason that, or the fact that he reposted the video of he reposted the cover of the NBA 2K thing with her as, as an ape. It's the fact that in his post, he brings up the Caitlin Clark stuff and brings up information about the league. And Shaq is like, yo, your credibility doesn't extend to this world. Stay in your lane of football. Like you don't know anything about basketball. Mind your own business.
I don't like that.
I thought RG3 has gone hard on Angel Reese in the past. Like this isn't the first time he even talked about Angel Reese. Like he's gotten on her shit.
Yeah, but like
past.
listen, like,
and I think this was just like maybe Shaq didn't even read what the hell that was said. He just saw the picture and was like, "Fuck you," you know.
I don't know. If I'm RG3, I'm double downing. I don't care.
So
here's Shaq also has punched people in the face. So,
well, there's more to the post, right? It says RG3 says, I have been quiet on the Angel Reese front because she shared a video that aided in my wife, kids, family, and friends receiving death threats of physical harm to my family and friends, and threats of sexual violence to my children on social media and beyond. That would never be okay with me. I never attacked her or family when I stated and backed up with a clear basketball evidence that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. It's sports. Everybody won't like each other. So like there's just, it's, I don't know.
I don't
really care too much about this.
The reason why I brought this up because I thought it was funny. Like me personally, like I know Shaq has punched people in the face before and doesn't have a problem throwing hands. But
Shaq's a big dude.
But also, I'm also the kind of person that, like, if I believe something, and I'm going to say what I believe. So, if I'm RG3, like, you're going to have to punch me in my face. Because I'm going to say what I'm going to say. And I'm not going to
handle that.
Listen, I've been knocked out before. Like, I'm fine. Like, but you're not going to come over to me and just expect to throw a punch and me just sit there and take it. We're going to scrap. And wherever the chips lie, the chips lie. If you put me to sleep, you put me to sleep. And if I put you to sleep, you get put to sleep. You're a big man. I've seen big men fall. But, like, big tree go boom.
Bang!
Bang! Bang! Yeah. I'm not sure I'm doing the bang bang thing.
I just won't remember in the moment. Like, yeah. Really?
But me personally, I don't like Shaq's take on it. Like, stay in your lane. Like, he's a sports broadcaster, and he should have a right to be able to voice his opinion. Now, I understand people's point of view. Like, you could have commented on the post without retweeting the picture, because that's just pushing hate, so that way everyone sees the hate, right? But I also feel like this Caitlin Clark Angel Reese thing has really just been very polarizing, where everyone's making it a race issue. Them two cannot like each other. That's fine. I also think it's great for the sport. Like, if you watch...
publicity is good publicity.
Yeah. And this is another thing. Like, a lot of basketball purists are talking about how they really don't like the sport of basketball because they removed a lot of the physicality from it. anyone who's watching WNBA right now is seeing like 1980s basketball. Like they're throwing bows, they're throwing hard ass picks. Like it is. If you like that style of basketball, it is fun to watch. You could also see Angel Reese shooting a bunch of shots and getting her own rebounds, and shooting a bunch of shots and getting her own rebounds. I kid. There was like 2 weeks straight where everyone was betting that she would miss the first shot, and that bet hit like 100% of the time. So, also,
She was in on it.
yeah, she was in on it. Also, people who say that Caitlin Clark isn't on the way to being goated is crazy, because she's, I don't know, let's just say 50 games into her WNBA career, and she's already ranked third on triple doubles in all of WNBA history. So,
Wow.
like, and one more
Jeez.
triple double, she's tied for second. So,
That's not long though.
what?
I said that's not long though.
That's not long.
How long has the WNBA been around?
At least, I would say 20 to 30 years.
No, 20 or 30 years? 30 years?
How long's the WNBA been around?
1 second.
Good time for a sip.
It's looking like it was
Wow.
founded in 30 years.
30 years? Holy crap.
30 years
Sorry,
and a girl.
27 years.
And a woman, almost 40 years. A woman who's played one full year is tied
That's crazy.
for third, and is
Crazy.
one triple double away
Wow.
from second of
I need to get some
W-
WNBA
NBA
season
history.
tickets. Too bad they don't have them in Philly.
I heard it's coming. I heard
I've
it's coming.
seen stuff, but we'll see. I think WNBA needs to become profitable first.
I think
Caitlin Clark is doing that single-handedly.
I think
Nah.
no. I think yes, 100%. I think Caitlin Clark is doing that. I also think that this Angel Reese Caitlin Clark like feud is
You need a good rival.
is similar to like Larry Bird days,
Oh yeah.
right?
You need a
Like
good rivalry.
so. I think the WNBA needed something like this. They also just had their All-Star game.
Fan the flames. Fan the flames. They need to learn from the politicians, bro. They're all friends. They're all friends behind the screen,
And the WNBA, the Sixers.
except for Marjorie Taylor Greene.
What would the wow?
She's not friends with anybody.
What would the Sixers or the WNBA Philadelphia team be named?
I don't know. The sisters.
Wow.
It's the
Wow.
city.
Wow.
It's the city of brotherly love, right? So
Bro,
sisters.
I don't know that you might. I mean, there's a line, and you
I didn't say
leapfrogged over it.
sisters.
You leapfrogged over it. The Philly Sisters.
Yo, Jesus Christ.
All right.
Oh, bam, zoom to the moon,
the
guys.
city-
this
the
episode
city of
of
brotherly
What Not to
love.
Say.
Here we go.
These are the sisters from the city of brotherly
Oh,
love.
Jesus Christ. Oh, thank you for our racial expert, Scott Waller.
Oh God.
Our in-house.
I know what part of this is going to get cut. I tell you that right now. This is not making the final
I'm gonna
edit.
Leave it
I'm
in.
gonna
This
leave
is
it.
great.
I'm gonna leave it.
Next thing you know, he's going to be like, the broads.
Bro, I'm telling you right now. I was thinking the city of brotherly love. I don't know, the sisters, whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
The sisters from the
Have
city
you
of
also
brotherly
heard that,
love.
like, there's been a big thing that, like, old white guys call black guys brothers? Oh, there's the brothers over there. Go ask the brothers.
I call white guys brother.
No. That's different.
Oh, that's different.
What?
Like, when you say, yo, bro.
My dad, he's got this one. There's this one black guy at work that he calls brother all the time, and I'm like, you don't call anybody else brother.
Yeah, that should say a lot.
But was that like a thing before though? Like I feel like
The
that was a thing
brothers have
before.
always been like that's always been affiliated with like,
Brother.
yeah, African
brothers.
Americans.
Okay, well, I mean, I call everybody brother.
Yes, like there's a difference between saying "yo, bro" or "that's my brother" or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I mean,
Then,
if they come at me with a brother, I come at them with a brother.
Hey, brother.
But also, I'm part of an organization where we all call each other brother too.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah.
Illuminati.
The Illuminati.
Me.
All we ask for is trust.
The Grand Poobahs.
So I mean, I've heard. No, I shouldn't say this. Never mind.
So, yeah, I don't know. I was interested to see if you had a name for the 76ers. I don't think Sisters is going to be high.
I got a good one.
What?
The 69ers.
Oh,
The Philadelphia 69ers.
The 69ers.
I like that. Or Broads.
WNBA.
Broads.
we got Broad Street, so Broads.
Oh, we got Broad Street. So
might as well. Since
they'll come up with a good name.
Yeah.
The process.
just
Just call it the process.
What about the Bells?
The Bells.
The Liberty Bells.
Yeah, the Liberty Bells.
There's dual meanings there.
Yeah.
The BLLEs.
Yeah, the bells. Ring them bells.
We only bring the good looking ones. Caitlin Clark, you're out.
Wow. Wow. Oh shit, we didn't even touch on something that I'm really sad about.
Yeah.
What's that? Oh yeah. I was just gonna mention it.
We're at just over 2 hours right now.
Yeah, so we'll make this quick. UFC last night was amazing. They did a really good job on Dustin's last fight. He's done a lot for the sport.
Did you go back and watch it again, or?
All right, so I was doing a live and giving some play-by-plays and my thoughts on who was going to win each fight. And during the co-main, I took a little nap. I fell asleep, and then I woke up in the main event, and
so you did.
I watched the full main event. I thought the fight was amazing. I'm surprised that it wasn't the fight of the night.
Who was the fight of the night?
Was it Vettori? I think Vettori. Vettori got his nose broken.
Oh.
Yeah, watching him hang up
Vettori and Allen.
Yeah. Watching him hang up the gloves is going to be. It was really, really nice to watch everything that they did. The video was really nice to watch. I think they did a really good send off for a Hall of Famer of the sport. They also started the fight off with the fight night off with 6 fights that ended in less than a minute, I think.
Really?
Yeah, the early prelims and the prelims, I think there was 6 consecutive fights that just was like boom, 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 boom,
bang,
boom.
bang, 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 bang.
So, yeah, I also liked that underdogs were underdogging. So that's my takeaway.
There were a lot of upsets.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
a lot of upsets last night. And our boy Joe was calling for some of these upsets and won some money.
Yeah.
Joe
Pfeiffer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
But
yeah, I mean, the Max Holloway Poirier fight was pretty freaking crazy. Like I was
Back and forth.
round 1, round 2, I was like, man, Max Holloway, this is gonna be over. And then I was like, wait, what? Oh, Dustin came in. I was like, what? Oh, okay, he still got some fight in him. And then it was just like back and forth the whole fight. So it was a great fight. The other highlight I liked was the Rodriguez fight. Did you see them two dudes?
Kevin Holland.
Oh my, yeah, the Holland Rodriguez. Bro,
Yeah.
them guys punched themselves out. Like it was
Silly.
wild. I was like, yo, these dudes put some work in.
Look at the red.
Oh
look
my
at the,
god. Oh my god.
Look at the red.
No, that's the Poirier fight, right? Oh, this
Look
one.
at their heads.
These
Both of their heads
dudes
are just red.
Punched themselves.
Yeah.
They only went 3 rounds, but like, they punched each other out. I want to see more Rodriguez. How old is Rodriguez?
He's young.
Is he?
Yeah, I
He
think
looks
so.
old. That's because old.
Oh no! I'm sorry. I was thinking about whatchamacallit, the other fight.
Where's the
Rodriguez
information?
is old. Rodriguez is old.
Yeah, I was gonna say like that.
D-Rod
dude
is old.
He's 38.
Yeah,
Rodriguez
he's
is
38, but like, yeah, that dude.
I
can't believe he pulled that out. I can't
Yeah, I
believe
was
he pulled
upset.
that out. I was pretty
upset.
sure that Holland was gonna win there, but he pulled that out, and he was plus 180.
Yeah.
Like a minute or 3 minutes before the end of the round, and I was like, dang, I should have put some money on.
Whatchamacallit was minus 800 and lost.
Wow, who?
Yeah. Was it? Yeah. I think. Was it? Zell
This
Huber.
guy.
Zell Huber
Oh,
was
wow.
minus 800. If you took
handle
Johnson, if you took Michael Johnson, that was a hefty payout.
Wow.
Yeah. And that fight was a really good fight too.
Nice.
So
Super upset.
I was wrong in a lot of picks this week. This week was not a good week for the picks.
Yeah.
Win some, you lose some.
That means it would have been a good week for me because I would have just went against everything he said.
Some people that were in the chat last night that listened to my picks, I don't think we're happy either.
Oh no.
I'm sorry, everyone.
Just tell them.
If you followed me a couple weeks ago, you would have cashed out lovely, but this week, not so much.
You can't win them all.
Not so much. I had Huber in this, so, but I also had under, I think, and I don't think either of it hit. So yeah, not good. But overall, great event. I enjoyed talking to a lot of our followers in regards to just the sport. It was fun, and yeah, I think I want to do like a Wednesday night live. I want to talk to a couple people that follow us and see if I start a live on a Wednesday night before the UFC, if they want to jump in and have conversations on what we think is going to happen on the pay-per-view.
Okay.
But yeah, good event overall.
Not a bad idea.
Well, thanks everyone for joining. Please like, subscribe, follow, comment, tell us what we're doing well, tell us what we're not doing well, and if there's anything you want to talk about, share, and we'll dive deep and have a no safe words point of view.
All right. Thanks.
Cheers.
See you next week.
Later.